Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of my high-end favorites. I upload a lot of drugstore content here on my channel, so I figured I would kind of switch it up, go to the total opposite spectrum of things, and do a full face of some of my most expensive high-end makeup. As much as I love to share drugstore and affordable options with you guys, high-end makeup is just near and dear to my heart. Some of my favorite holy grail, never giving these up pieces are high-end, and I just value and cherish them so much more than my drugstore makeup. So I'm going to be doing an entire full face of high-end makeup. So I really hope that you guys enjoy seeing this video, and let's just go ahead and jump on into it. As I'm sure you guys can tell, I already have my eyebrows done. I used my favorite ever Fenty Beauty eyebrow pencil. Eyebrow pencils are one of those things that I always just not have to buy high-end, but I prefer high-end. It's rare that I found a drugstore brow pencil that I stick to and I really love. There definitely are drugstore brow pencils that I like and I'll use for the purpose of the video or use for the purpose, like I said, for a dupes video or a full face of drugstore, but it's rare that I will continually stick to using a drugstore or affordable brow pencil. For some reason, I've just become so accustomed to high-end brow pencils, and the Fenty Beauty one is up there with my Anastasia Brow Wiz. So this is my favorite recently. I wear it in the shade medium brown, and just to kind of fluff up my brows a little bit, I topped it off with a little bit of the Anastasia brow powder, the lighter one. This duo is in the shade dark brown, which is a little bit dark for me. I probably needed medium brown or chocolate in this, but I just used the teeniest amount of brow powder to just fluff over my brows and fill in any harsh spots. So those are the brow details. Really great high-end products. For my eyeshadow today, I know this does not surprise any of you, the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Jaclyn eyeshadow palette is my absolute favorite eyeshadow palette. Anastasia Beverly Hills having, in my opinion, the best eyeshadow formula in general in all of their eyeshadow palettes. I have a couple more back here that are some of my favorites, so this is what I'm going to be using today. There are just so many different looks you could do with this. I've used this for so many different occasions, whether I want something warm, cool, fun colors, green, purple. This is my perfect everything type of palette. So I'm going to start off first with the shade Ginger right here, and I'm going to run that in my crease. I'm not sure what type of look I'm going to go for today, but you can't go wrong with starting off with a transition shade. And if you guys are wondering, my eyes are already primed. I used the Too Faced Born This Way concealer to prime my eyes and set that with a little banana powder. Next, I'm going to take these shade edges on a little bit more of a concentrated brush, and I'm just going to run this right directly in my crease, a little bit lower than my transition shade. This is typically a step I always do in my eye looks. I know you guys are probably bored already, but I'm such a creature of habit with my eye shape and my eyeshadow looks. I will see if I could do something different today. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 11:38 a.m. Enjoy your weekend, Jaclyn.
Ew, I always forget that she knows my name. To deepen up the outer corner, I'm going to go into the shade Credit, which is the dark chocolatey brown. I think for my lid, I'm going to take this green shade Sponsored just to kind of switch it up and do something different than I normally would. And I think the dark brown will complement that really nicely. Just putting a little bit here on the outer corner. Let me tell you guys, it feels amazing to start getting glam being inside. When I don't film, I really don't wear a lot of makeup. Sometimes I'll just put on a little concealer and mascara, but I probably haven't worn makeup in, I don't know, a week now, or maybe even more than that. I've just been barefaced, so it definitely feels good to get glam. It definitely puts me in a good mood. It definitely is gonna make me more productive today. Doing a little bit more blending as always. So as mentioned, for my lid, I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Sponsored. This is such a unique, greeny type shade. I'll do a finger swatch so you guys can see. Can you guys see that? It's like a metallic green, has a little bit of blue, a little bit of like a brown shift to it. It's almost like one of those classic blue-brown shades, but instead of blue, it's definitely more of a green. So I think I'm going to just put this on my lid with my finger. That's so pretty. I might need to go in with a brush to touch up the edges just because my nails are really long. I can't get all the way into the corners. That is such a beautiful shade. I don't even think that needs any Fix Plus or anything like that. Now it is time to move on to doing my mascara, and I actually don't have a single high-end mascara in my makeup collection. I was looking through my drawer thinking I have to have one in here that I like, but literally all of my mascaras are from the drugstore. I have Essence, Maybelline, Milani, ColourPop, and Makeup Revolution. I do not have one high-end mascara. I'm trying to think if there's one that I tried that I really feel like is worth it that I could recommend to you guys, but honestly, drugstore mascara in my opinion is just as good, and it's also cheaper because mascara is something that you have to replace every couple of months, and I'm not trying to spend over $20 every couple of months on something that's gonna last me for like 3-4 months top. So I'm just gonna kind of do a combination of some of my favorite mascaras. I usually do the Essence and the ColourPop, or the Essence and the Milani. Moving on to the face, my favorite facial spray, I'm sure you guys know, is Fix Plus. This has been my favorite. This has been my favorite for years. Under makeup, over makeup, it just has the most beautiful way of making my makeup look so natural. It really hydrates the skin, and I just love it. This one in particular that I really like is the Cherry Blossom one. This one was limited edition, but I recently ran out of my original Fix Plus, so I'm just going to try to finish this one up before I go ahead and repurchase any more. So I'm just going to apply this underneath my face primer. For face primer, my favorite high-end face primer is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Face Primer. I really love this because it's a really great in-between, not too matte, not too luminous. It's really just like that perfect mix of both and leaves my skin with a really nice satin finish. I also feel like it brightens the skin, makes the skin look a little bit more alive. So I'm going to use this today. I actually haven't used this in a while because, oh, it's not even pumping. It's not coming out. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. I finally got some product out. I think it just needed a little warming up because I haven't used this in a little while. I love how Fenty products smell. They all have like that same like vanilla, I don't know, it just smells like Fenty. If you guys use Fenty products and you know what I mean. But this feels so nice on the skin. And I think it's going to go really well with the foundation that I'm going to use today. Drugstore Foundation is my absolute favorite. I swear by Drugstore Foundations, and it took me a really long time to find a high-end foundation that I really thought was worth it, that I really just loved, and one that I would definitely repurchase because high-end foundations can be very expensive. The one that I'm going to be using today, my favorite, is the Anastasia Luminous foundation, and I believe I paid close to $40 for this, which is crazy, but this foundation is worth it. It is definitely my favorite for a reason. It has a beautiful luminous finish on the skin, and I just absolutely love it. There's really not a single con that I have about this foundation. The only thing that I'm gonna say about it today is that this definitely is going to be dark on me, I think, just because I purchased this in the beginning of September. I still had a little bit of my summer tan going on, so this foundation is dark on me. So you guys are gonna have to excuse that, but we're just gonna be tan today. We're gonna make it work. I have mine in the shade 210N Neutral. I find that this definitely leans a little bit more yellow than neutral. You guys will see once I put it on, but the packaging is so cute. As you guys can see, the finish, the coverage, how long it lasts, how comfortable it is on my skin. Trust me, you guys, if I did not like this, I would have returned it because $40 is a lot for a foundation, but it's my absolute favorite. Let's see how dark this is. It actually looks a lot darker in person than it is on camera. It is just, it's almost not even dark. It just has like a really strong yellowy olive undertone that matched me really nicely in the summer. I don't know that that's really picking up on camera, which might be a good thing. Definitely it looks a little bit darker in person, but do you guys see the coverage and the finish? It's just so good. Such a beautiful foundation. My favorite high-end concealer ever, I've been using this for a few years now, is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I have two shades. I have Vanilla and Snow. First, I'm going in with the shade Vanilla just because this one is a little bit darker, a little bit more peachy. So this is going to really cancel out any darkness that's directly underneath my eyes. I'm also using the same vanilla shade down my nose and on my chin just to have a little bit more of a subtle highlight. And then with the shade Snow, which is considerably lighter than the first shade, I'm just going to kind of put this on the outer portion of my highlight areas to brighten up those areas, just like that. Blending that out with my favorite e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. I do not have any high-end sponges in my collection just because I feel like they are 100% not something that you need to spend more than $5 or $6 on for a sponge. This concealer is so full coverage. If you guys want the most full coverage concealer you'll probably ever try, but it's still lightweight, it's not cakey, really beautiful looking on the skin, this is definitely that concealer. It gives you a lot of time to work with it. It's not too thick and mattifying. The only high-end powder that I actually own is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, a tiny thin layer, just because this is a little bit more of a heavy duty powder than I would typically go for, but this is the only one that I have in my collection to use today. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this and set my face really lightly with my sponge. I'm kind of pressing some of the excess powder off on the back of my hand just because this is, like I said, a little bit more heavy of a powder than I typically like. So I'm just really lightly pressing this onto the skin. Usually when I use this with a brush, it kind of makes my foundation look a little bit lifeless, but it's actually keeping a lot of the nice luminous looking qualities of this foundation, which I really like. To finish up my eyes, I'm going to use these same transition shades that I used from the Jaclyn palette, which are Ginger and Edges, and I'm just going to smoke these underneath my lower lash line. These are such beautiful brown shades. I love how they look on the lower lash line. I just realized I did not even have my microphone on that last couple of minutes. All that I had the microphone off for was applying the eyeshadow on my lower lashes, but if you guys missed it, I just used the shade Ginger and Edges and I smoked that out underneath my lower lash line. So next I'm gonna put a shade on my inner corner. I was thinking about using the shade right here, which is called Trust Issues, which is a really beautiful light gold. It looks like a pure white in the pan, but it swatches like a light gold. Or I was thinking about using the shade Soleil, which is this one, which is a little bit more of a reflective champagne. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and mix the two together to put on my inner corners. When it comes to high-end bronzer, my two favorites are NARS Laguna bronzer. I have a pan of it in this face palette that I have, and I'm sure you guys know also my Anastasia Beverly Hills Rosewood bronzer. They are a little bit different. I would say Rosewood has a little bit more of a reddish undertone to it, while Laguna is a little bit more of a neutral olive bronzer. So I think today I'm gonna go ahead and use Laguna just because my foundation is already a little bit dark on me. I want to keep the bronzer a little bit more neutral, a little bit lighter. I think Rosewood would make me look a little bit too sun-kissed, a little bit too tan today. Moving on to blush, some of my favorite high-end blushes are from Benefit. Right here with me, I have their blush bar, which is basically just a palette of some of their boxed blushes that they have in their collection. My favorite high-end blush from them used to be the shade Dallas, which was like a beautiful, deep mauve type of blush, but I actually dropped it and broke it about a year ago, so I don't have that one anymore, but I have this beautiful blush bar that I purchased during the VIB sale one year, maybe last year during the VIB sale, and I just kind of love using a combination of all of these blushes. In here there's California, Gold Rush, Dandelion, and Rock Couture blush, and it also comes with Hoola bronzer, so I'm just honestly gonna mix all 4 of these blushes together to use on my face today because they're all kind of similar pinky shades. Highlighters is another one of those things that I have a ton of favorites. I love Fenty, I love Ofra, Anastasia, and Mercier, but there is one in particular that has stood out to me recently over the other ones that I have been using, and that is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Flash Highlighter Palette. I have been using this a ton. The highlighters in here are so gorgeous. They have the most beautiful finish to them. In particular, I have been loving mixing these 2 shades together on the side, which are Iced as well as Mesmerized. There are no words to describe how beautiful these highlighters look, so I'm just going to mix them together. I am applying them with the Sigma Tapered Highlighter, and oh, do you guys see that? They just go on so smooth, and I love that they don't have any actual like glitter particles or shimmer particles. They're just incredibly smooth on the skin, and they look natural but super intense at the same time. So lately these have been my favorite high-end highlighters to use. And again, just going in with a little bit more Fix Plus to finish off the face. For lip liners, there are a couple of different high-end lip liners that I really love. I would consider all of these my favorites. I love the MAC lip liner in Boldly Bare. I also have Haus Labs and Point, and lastly the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. But I think for today, for the look and the lip shade that I want to go for, I want to keep it really light and peachy nude, so I'm going to go in with the Haus Labs and Point lip liner. So here's what the lip liner looks like on its own. I lined as well as filled in my lips, and it is just the most beautiful lip shade. If I wasn't doing like a full face of favorites, I would probably leave it like this just because I love the color of this lip liner with these eyes so much. But I am going to top it off with one of my favorite high-end lipsticks, which is the Anastasia matte lipstick, and I have this one in the shade Peachy, which is pretty similar to the lip liner. It actually might be the same exact shade. Oh yeah, that's literally the same shade as the lip liner. Alright you guys, so that is going to complete this video. Here is my full face using my high-end favorites. I am obsessed with this glam. I feel so put together, and I think I'm going to film another video today because this makeup definitely needs to be put to good use. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this video and spending time with me today. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, click that notification bell down below and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!